Conversations with my daughter. Conversations with my mama. 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 Hey, it's Mack Mama.
Hey guys, this is Velvet and you're listening to Great Conversations with my daughter.
What's happening? Welcome to Conversations with my daughter. Move over a little bit. Okay, so today, guys, is our first time doing this podcast on Podbeam Live. So I have no clue what I'm doing. I've tried to add music. It didn't work. So bottom line is this is our first. We'll get better and better as we go. But we definitely have it live too. So we can have our participation with our people. So a lot of people have been calling me like, when are you going to do the other episodes? And, so that made me feel good that people was like really feeling our show.
Yes. And we're a little rough around the edges right now. But we'll get better.
I'm really not rough around the edges. This system that we're trying to do, rough around the edges.
I don't know if I'm talking to myself.
First of all, you need to be talking in your microphone because that happened before when we tried to record an episode. We had a banging episode too. We was talking about, what were we talking about? I don't know.
Politics. Basically.
We were talking about politics, but we're going to get on. What we talk about today is Velvet is going to be doing her first interview, which is Mack Mama. She's going to be interviewing me. So a lot of y'all have seen the epic, amazing documentary on Netflix. It's called Crack. I was honored to be a part of it. However, my little portion, which when I filmed it, they recorded about maybe, I want to say 40 minutes of me talking about a particular subject that I thought was very important to the piece, which is the children.
Wait, stop talking real quick. I want to see something. I want to see if my microphone moves when... Okay.
The children that are affected by, or were affected by having parents that were addicted to crack and in that era. Because that's basically what the documentary was about. A big piece of it, because they had actual live people, which I thought was so dope, that lives were ruined from that era. You know what I mean? Like the mothers and a couple of men too, that were actual crack users, and how that drug destroyed them. So my portion to it was basically coming from the perspective of a child that was affected, because my mother's crack use basically destroyed my life. I mean, and really, I don't like to say that because that's really using an excuse, because I could have made different choices. However, I was a child. I was 14 years old when I went to live with my mom. And then, which I'll get into the story, but I want Velvet to jump in. And first of all, you saw it, so you know what it's about. Of course, you didn't live in that era. But I want you to start asking me questions. How would you start this interview for me to explain the portion that I thought was very important to the piece that I really didn't get to share with the world? But I'm still was happy I was on there. Don't get me wrong, because it said Natoka Mack Mama Williams, author, and I've sold a pretty decent amount of books from just the promotion of being on such a highly acclaimed doc.
All right, hey Mack Mama, how are you?
Hi, get in, boo, because you can't really. Yes.
All right, so I'm going to be asking you questions about your life.
Okay.
And I just want to say you look amazing.
Well, thank you.
You're welcome.
Because, okay, can I say this? So when I watched the documentary Crack on Netflix, and I came in about 6 minutes. I came in twice in the piece, and I came in, and I was horrified because I did not like that wig. And it's nobody's fault but my own. Who knew that our orange wig on television would absolutely make me look like Ronald McDonald? I did not like the angles I was shot. I thought I looked fat and old, but I keeps it real. So I was like, oh no, I have to redeem myself, because people that don't know me, and then you didn't hear me talk. So I was just there, like basically like, hey, my little cameo, and that was it. But I learned a lot from being on that particular piece, that I have to be shot a certain way, darling, and never wear an orange wig again. I don't know what came over me, but I thought besides that I looked cute. But I never really got to express myself and the real reason that I was a part of the piece.
Okay. So we're gonna start off with a couple questions just to get, know you and your backstory.
Okay.
So where did the name Mack Mama originate from?
That's where you come from with this one. Okay. Well, I wrote about this in my book, Tales of Original Bad Girl. I was a hustler in the streets, and that comes from having, going through the experience of having a mom that was addicted, and a father that was in jail my whole life until I turned 19. So I had basically ran to the streets with no direction, and I was out there hardcore. And a portion of my life, I had a few young ladies that worked for me, and one particular one, I tried my hand at pimping. I was a horrible pimp, and I lost my little girl that I had pimping for me, and basically that was where the name Mack Mama was born. And then later on, I started rapping, and I said, first I was Miss Coco. That was my original rap name, and then I liked Coco Chanel was on Hot 97. She was a DJ, and I was like, no, I don't want to have that name. So I was like, you know what? Let me go with Mack Mama, because that's what a few people used to call me from that little portion of my life when I was a so-called pimp. Or madam, probably, but it's probably a madam. It didn't work out for me, guys, but y'all got to read the book for that story.
All right, so we're going to go
How do you feel about hearing that? Because I don't think you knew that, right?
I mean, I hear a lot of crazy things from you. At this point, it is what it is.
Okay.
So we're going to go back into your childhood. Being such a young child, adolescence, and having a mother that was on drugs and stuff, how did that affect you at a young age? Was she in your life a lot? How did that living situation go and everything?
Well, I was raised, my mom had me, and I was with her up until the age of 5 years old. And I used to remember all the times that she would take me with her stealing, because she was a booster, and she mainly boosted, to supply her drug habit. Now, at that time, it wasn't crack. We're talking about in the 70s, it was heroin. Heroin use was heavy, and she had got involved in that, and she needed to feed her addiction. And so she would take me with her stealing, and I hated it. I remember just hating it, and she would get caught and use me as a way to get out, because the detectives, the undercover detectives would always feel sorry for her. And so that's why in my book, when I write about that, I always said that I was her co-defendant. Like, we were like partners in crime. And she had this little shtick that she would, do if she got caught. And I knew what to say, like, officer, let my mom go. She didn't mean it, and I was a cute little kid, and they fell for it every time. Until the last time, I think she was selling pills in 14th Street Park. I remember this vividly. And she told me to go play, and all of a sudden, cops came, and I never seen my mom again. And I was whisked away to my grandmother's house. And then after that, my godmother came and got me. And that's how I began to live with my godparents, and had such a great, decent upbringing with them. But I always had that longing to live with my mom. And so when I turned 14, because I had a very overly strict godmother, bless her soul, Louise Robinson. She loved me to death, but she was so terribly fearful of me running to the streets, which is what ultimately happened when I went to live with my mom. And I remember just rebelling when I turned 14, and I was like, I want to live with my mom. And she had just came home from a rehab. And she was clean, and she got her little stuff together. And she was like, if she wants to come live with me, she can live with me. And it was a big thing. But finally, they allowed me to go live with my mom. And it was the worst mistake of my life.
We kind of have similar stories, except like my mom wasn't on drugs and stuff, but I had this little time where I wanted to go live.
Yeah, when I went to prison.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's sad when when you separated from your mom. Because I went to prison for 4 years. Well, it was a 5-year bid. And I was away from Velvet for 3.5 years. And God bless her godmother, my best friend, God rest her soul, Queenie, took care of my baby. I'm talking about took care of my baby better than I could have took care of her. I gave her the best life while I was gone. So I was very, very blessed. And you're right, we do have similar stories because my godmother took care of me and gave me a great
and even
life.
though our godmothers did that, it's still something about wanting your mom.
Wanting your mom. It's just something about that. So back to, I went to live with my mom, and that's when all hell broke loose. It was cause my mom died in 89, so it was 1987. I was 14 years old, and my mom finds out that she has the AIDS virus. That was another big epidemic back then that was horrible.
And that came from sex or like drug use, needles and stuff?
I believe it was more needles because her and her boyfriend had it. And it could have been sex too because her and her boyfriend had it, but they were both dope fiends. So she told me she had AIDS, and it was like the most horrible
How
news.
was that situation when she told you?
I lost my mind. Like, I was just so devastated. I had just got my opportunity to live with my mom, finally got my freedom, was able to go outside, and everything was like on the up and up in the beginning. Like, I still was going to school. You know, I had rules. I was following my rule. My mom would let me go outside, but I had to be in at a certain time. But then when she found out she had AIDS, and then y'all got to really read the book because my mom was riddled with illness. You know, she had a condition, renal failure. So she was on dialysis 4 times a week, and she was riddled with illness from the age of 17. That's why she started getting high. She couldn't deal with that. Imagine being a young girl and you sick in a hospital like all your life, and you start getting high. So anyway, after she found out she had AIDS, she started smoking crack. And that was like in 87. Crack was already out, but it was really new to the hood. I was from Fort Greene Projects. She was from Fort Greene Projects, and I went to live with her there. And that was it. And I wanted to, this was the story that I was telling on the episode, is that how most of my friends that mothers were and fathers too that were started getting high, it was like everybody all at one time just lost their parents, lost their discipline. We was all out there now because we had no real discipline anymore because the cracks had overtook our lives.
What stopped you from doing any type of hardcore drugs?
Oh, you coming with, go ahead with these questions. All right. Off the top of her head, mama don't even have her little questions. Okay, baby. Well, I did experience drugs. I started rebelling against my mom because, I'm very understandable now. But back then, I did not understand why she started smoking crack. She was clean, and I had went to live with her because I wanted a good life. I wanted us to finally reunite, and she disappointed me so bad with that crack stuff. She started, well, first of all, I started running to the streets at that point, so I started stealing. The thing that I hated, that I abhorred, but I started stealing, and I became a very good thief. And she started robbing me, so she didn't have to go out and disrespect herself and have sex for crack and all the vile stuff that people would do because that crack had turned them into monsters. So she would just come home and steal from me, and I just lost all respect for my mom, and I started getting high, smoking weed. That was my gateway drug. Then I was smoking dust. That was a big drug back then too, angel dust. So I started smoking dust, running in the streets, and then I started the cocaine, and that was the part in the Netflix special that they kept. So now that looked like, I'm this big cocaine addict, and but it was the part that I was talking about was that when I was doing cocaine, I'm 14, 15 years old. I'm in the clubs, Latin Corners, Union Square, Studio 54. I think I'm grown at least. And I got my $100 bill and I'm sniffing and I'm with, that was just the thing to do back then. It was like a glamorous thing. And it was so far removed from the crack. However, and I share this in my book, Tales of Original Bad Girl.
And that was cocaine you were doing?
That was cocaine.
So how did the crack and the cocaine mix in How did that happen?
Well, I had one
There's
experience.
so many documentaries about it.
Okay, well, I had one experience about the time when I did use crack. So, mind you, my mom is out there now, full-blown crackhead, so I know what this drug could do. However, I'm a cokehead, and I like my coke, and it was
What
a
does
drought.
Coke do to you?
Oh my gosh, darling, let me tell this story.
I'm sorry, so much.
Yeah, okay. Coke makes you feel fabulous. It made me feel fabulous, and I was, I like to talk and get high. That's really all it did, and it was like a fake fabulous feeling. The shit don't really do nothing. It didn't really do nothing to me. However, but keep you up and make you want to talk and makes you want to go out and get money.
It just keep you up, basically.
Yeah. Okay, so my first experience with crack, my first and last experience with crack was I had ran out of coke. I used to like to smoke cocaine cigarettes, so we used to call them coolies. It was actually the Newport. You take some of the nicotine out and fill it with the cocaine. And I had stopped sniffing because it started messing with my nostrils, and your nose would be dripping and stuff. Because, back then, the potency of that drug was so strong. And I started just getting really congested. And so I said, you know what? I started smoking my coolies, which I used to love to smoke those cocaine cigarettes. So couldn't find any any cocaine one day, and was like, well, this was my rationale. Remember, I'm still young. We're talking about a little 15-year-old kid. I'm like, well, maybe if I just get some cracks and crush them up and I put them in my cocaine, in my cigarettes, that I'll get high. So I shout out to my brother G too, my god brother. I love him. He knows this story. I sends him out to get me some crack. So I'll never forget, it was a very specific amount. I started out with, I gave him some money. He came back with like maybe 5 cracks. Honey, I crushed up the crack and put it in the cocaine. And now I keep saying cocaine cigarette. Put it in the cigarette. And as soon as I took the first hit, it was like, I knew, my first immediate reaction to it was, this is why my mother smokes this shit. It felt fucking amazing. Like I can't even explain that high. And here's the deal. You never get the feeling, that rush that you get from that high, you never get it back. You're always chasing, trying to get that first feeling, if that makes any kind of fucking sense. So I sends him out. It was a very specific number where I stopped. I remember it was 13 cracks later. 13 cracks later, little crack vials later, dimes they were. Or maybe they were nicks, I don't know. That's when I said, because now at this point, he's upset. He's like begging me to stop. I'm making him go get it for me. He's scared to death. He doesn't want me to turn into a crackhead. You got to remember, back then, crackheads were like the scum of the earth. When you're like, you're going to be a crackhead. And my mom is a crackhead. So I know what this could do. So it was some sort of rationale that came over me to say, you know what? I'm done. And I'm stuck. My mouth is locked. I'm really experiencing all the reactions to this drug. It probably would have been worse if I had smoked it in a pipe. Thank God I didn't smoke it in a pipe. It was just the cigarettes. And I had a moment of rationality that just was like, yo, I'm done. And I'm never doing this again, because I did not want to be a crackhead. I did not want, because I was a fly girl. I was a young hustler, booster in the 80s. I'm talking about, I was, stealing furs. And this stuff is horrible to say, but this is what it was. It was what it was. I was the best at what I did at that time. I was walking around like a grown woman. I had, at that time, I was still living in my mom's apartment because she didn't die yet. She had died the next year when I turned 16. And that's when I had got the apartment. And so I'm a 15-year-old.
Oh, so your name was on the lease?
And when she died, I had got my name on the lease along with my god sister, who was an adult, that co-signed for me, but she never stayed there. So now I'm this girl, this young girl that's like living this lifestyle and got my own crib. And it was just a crazy way to live. But the bottom line is that was the first time I tried that crack and the last time I tried to crack. But just being a kid with a crackhead mother, it totally decimated my life.
It doesn't sound much like you were a kid.
Well, I was a kid technically, but I was grown. And the lifestyle that we led back then in the 80s, I can't explain it. The late 80s, early 90s to me was the shit that we did back then. If I would have gotten caught, we would have just been coming home from the feds now. Like, it was just so much easier. It was, I mean, the stories that I tell in my book and that I still haven't really shared, people wouldn't even believe. I know they're like, yo, it got to be cap. It's really not. Like, this is how we lived as kids back then. In that crack era, it was so much money in the streets from the dealers. Because remember, back then, I'm from Brooklyn. It was either you was a dope dealer, you was either a robber, or you was one of the, on the female side, you was a booster. And that's just the categories that it was. And I fell into the boosting category, and I called myself a professional thief. And it's destroyed my life because I was a smart kid. Remember, my godparents raised me, and I was valedictorian in my junior high school. I went to a gifted school, and when I went to live with my mom, that all went down the window and down the drain. And I dropped out of school in the 11th grade and just turned to the streets. It was crazy.
So you said that all went down the drain and everything. Do you blame that on the behavior of your mother or how you dealt with her decisions? Do you blame on her or yourself?
Then I blamed it on my mom, because my intentions when I went to go live with my mom was to enjoy being reunited with my mother, continue school, and be a good kid. Had no intentions of going to Fort Greene and turning into a street person. I just had that wasn't my intentions. It's not like I was like, yeah.
And you met some friends in Fort Greene that, like, is that
bad influences?
Bad influences?
Well, not just Fort Greene. I ran to the streets, and my first project, I kind of left Fort Greene and started hanging out with my homegirls in Lafayette Gardens and Gowanus, and these girls were older than me. They were definitely more experienced with the streets, and I just fell into that crowd, and they became my family. Wait, I want to answer one of the questions here. Hey, guys. Velvet. Oh, your name, Velvet Winter Jackson. Mm-hmm. I always love that girl because she has your name. She's one of my Facebook friends. Hey, Velvet.
Wait, can you stop talking real quick? I just want to see something. Hello? Hi. It's like my mic is like lower than yours or something.
Well, we'll figure that out when this is over. So, Velvet said, what made you stop the drugs? I didn't want to be a crackhead, baby. And the dust, I only did a dust run for about 6 months. I stopped the dust because I had a bad experience with associate in the street of mine, which made me go on to shoot her. And she robbed me. And that's a story that you can read in my book, Velvet's Tales of Original Bad Girls. And so that made me stop doing the dust, period. The weed, I still continued on shit. Even now and then I smoke me a little J. I'm going to keep it 100. I ain't going to lie. I had went through a series of alcoholism and dust. And I told you I stopped the dust, I stopped the alcohol, and I stopped smoking cigarettes. When I turned 19, let me tell y'all a real quick story about how I stopped smoking cigarettes. I had went to jail, and I was in the bullpens. And in the city, and if anybody know about getting locked up in Manhattan, you go through the bullpens before you go see the judge, and if you get sentenced and go to Rikers Island. However, when I was in the bullpens, there used to be a lot of prostitutes, and I seen these ladies pick up cigarettes off the ground and smoke them. And I was done. I said, I don't want to be a part of that type of crowd where I got to be fiending for cigarettes and smoking them off the ground. And that was the last time I ever smoked cigarettes in my life.
Look, Nice said something.
What Nice said? I love how you're at the point in your life where you can actually share your story, your knowledge, and the lessons you've learned throughout the years, not only with your daughter, but with the world. That's different type of respect. Oh, thank you, Nye. Well, now I've been sharing my story now for 10 years. The first time when I wrote the book, Tales of Original Bad Girl, and then throughout the years after that, just going into the schools and mentoring with the youth and just trying to let people know that, if I can change my life, anybody can change, because I was bad. I was in the streets hardcore, out there. When you talk about a young kid, I can't imagine my daughter 14 sniffing coke. I couldn't imagine it. So when I look back at my life, it's just like unbelievable the things that, we did in those streets. So, Bill, ask me some more questions.
Okay, so you have a sister.
Yes.
And I think this is
Come your mic.
it's not weird. Okay, but you have a sister and she's a therapist.
Uh-huh. Pull your mic over. And she's a therapist, yes. My lovely sister, Raquel.
And you guys had the same mother, different fathers.
Yep.
And
put this way. No, I'm sorry, because it said you got to put it that way. Now lean in. Okay. Yes.
So, just the two different roads you guys went down is crazy to me. And I'm confused on how, like, were you there for your sister when, because she was going through something too. Maybe you didn't, because you were going and feeling different, that you weren't,
well,
maybe
Raquel,
if y'all were able to bond over that and talk about it, things could have happened differently, do you think?
Well, my sister's 3 years younger than me, and she was a totally different kid. She was content with being in the house. She never had that desire to want to go outside. And remember when I told y'all, my godmother was very strict, loving woman, but very strict and wouldn't allow us to go outside and play, and my sister had no problems with it. Me, on the other hand, I was very rebellious and I wanted some freedom. So when I left, I didn't care about leaving. I was out. But when I became this hustler in the streets, I would always go back and bring my sister garbage bags full of clothes, bring my godmother things, just bless the house, bring the money. I was that person, even from a kid. Always loyal, always never forgot where I came from and brought and my godmother, she knew it was stolen shit, but she still took it. And she would pray for me but she was happy just that I would come back on in and come see them. And my sister just recently shared with me that it affected her a great deal because I was her best friend, and when I left, it was her and my little god sister, Johnette, and they became, much closer. However, Raquel became mean to Johnette. And I didn't know that. I did not realize. She said that mommy, and when I say mommy, I'm talking about my godmother. Mommy became very sad. The household changed when I left. And I was being selfish. I didn't care about that. I just wanted to live my life. But when I left, it affected that whole household. Raquel became very mean to Johnette. They were still kids. If I left at 14, Raquel was 12, 13, 14. She was 11 years old when I left. And Johnette would have been probably 9, 10, 11, or maybe even 7, because she was probably 4 years younger. So, and my godmother was extremely sad because she knew that I was going to ruin my life. And my sister went on to become, when she went to college, I took care of my sister. I made sure she was straight. She didn't have to pay for books and all that stuff. And, she didn't want for nothing. She went on to graduate from 2 Ivy League colleges, Hunter and, what's the other one? Columbia University. And she was the pride and joy of our family. But remember, I was considered the smart one. I was slated to be something great in my life, and it was such a disappointment to my family. But we was very proud of Raquel and how she went on. And like I always say, she made the right choices. She had the same mother, a different drug addict father that wasn't in her life. However, she made the choice to stay in the house and do the right thing. And I made the choice. That's why I really don't like to blame it on my mom, because I still should have fought to be better. But I just ran to them streets with a vengeance and just like immersed myself in that hustle lifestyle.
Was there ever a point that you had to sit down and think to yourself about a future? Or what did you think your future was
That's the crazy shit. I didn't think about no future. I just was living day by day. Hold on. I want to just say shout out to Gloria. What up, Gloria? To God be the glory. I'm so glad you're able to tell your story and give others hope. Thank you, baby. She sure was a beautiful lady then and now. Thanks for sharing a part of you. Thank you, boo. So I didn't think about my future because I was just living that lifestyle where it just seemed like that portion of my life would never end.
I got another question. So you never thought about settling down? Because I know you had me and you met my dad and stuff, but was there ever a point where you just wanted that white picket fence life, where you just always wanted to be on the run? Well, not run like that.
Well,
but
first
like
of all,
on the
your
go.
father was 9 years older than me. So I didn't have guidance in my life because I felt like, and not to knock him, but I felt like as an older dude, dealing with such a young girl, he could have guided me in the right direction. I didn't have that guidance.
But since he didn't, you felt like that just led you down
I
the
was
same
I
old
was
road?
I was Bonnie and he was Clyde. I was in the streets. I was hustling. He was on the run for a body. He had went to prison, and I did the whole bid with him, 11 years, in and out of prison myself. So that just became my lifestyle. It was horrifying. And as I was living it, even during the bids when I was younger, like my first extensive bid was 16 years old. I did a year in Nassau County. I never once thought about the future. I just was like, when I'm going to go out, I'm going to do it better. Like that was when I get out, I'm going to do it better. I'm not going to get caught. I never thought about good credit. I never thought about, going back to school. I got my GED when I was in jail. When I was locked up upstate, I did some college courses. I never thought about the real world. I was so immersed into that underground society. I barely just came out that fog after having you. When I had you kind of late for the hood. I was 28 years old when I had you. So that was when I really thought about straightening up my life for you. But for years, I lived totally off the grid. And I'm talking about, I don't know how I managed to do it, but I had a house, the best, finest cars. I had a beautiful home in Ohio. And I paid all my bills. At one point in my life, I was paying like $5,000 worth of bills strictly off the land. Never had a job in my life. Wasn't an entrepreneur. Didn't have a business. Just hustling. And that was my claim to fame. That's how I was like conditioned to say, oh, I'm proud of that. Like, I'm a renegade. I live life lawlessly. Like, I was a sick person. I was sick, man. When I think about my mindset and it goes back to, I wasn't taught nothing from my mom. All I saw with my mom was suffering and her getting high. And we didn't have conversations like me and you have, where I teach you how to, to build your credit and the good things in life and what you should be aspiring to be in your life. We have real conversations about finances and you becoming an entrepreneur, but still maintaining a job and your 401k and your insurance and paying your own health insurance. I didn't have those type of conversations. You know what I'm saying? And
did you and any of your friends, your other friends that rebelled, have any good conversations, or they didn't know
about the future?
Yeah.
My only friend that taught me anything
was Auntie Queenie.
Was my Queenie, because she went on to stop that part of her life and she became a real estate, really a great commercial real estate broker. Just that was her life. She was, into real estate heavy, and she became very successful with it. And she begged me. That was how I went to Ohio and bought my house. She begged me to start thinking about concrete things and put my money into properties and stuff like that. So that was the only friend that I had that really taught me something real, besides street shit. Wait, what Elizabeth said? It's good to hear your story. It's inspiring a lot of people, and thank God just sharing. Well, thank you, baby, because this episode is basically me sharing a lot of stuff that was cut out of that crack documentary that I was blessed to be in. Because, I don't know, I guess they focused more on the actual crack users and not of the children that was affected that had crackhead parents. And that was who I was. And that was the story that I was sharing, but it got edited out. So I was like, you know what, I have to, share this on my platform. And I want you guys to make sure y'all share too. And I'm going to be sharing this video and stuff because I thought that was an important piece, because a lot of my friends' mothers were crackheads. Their fathers was crackheads or dope fiends. Like my mother was the combination of the two. She did heroin, and she smoked crack. And we were products of our environment. And that caused us to be in the streets, wilding, going to jail, and destroyed our lives. You know what I mean? Thank God I was able to redeem myself, with my talents, with being able to write my books, and I do my music and stuff like that. Because a lot of people aren't, and a lot of people are stuck.
So
still getting.
That's something I want to say. So even though you did go to the streets and everything, at least you were talented. So how did the rapping come into play?
Well, I was rapping since I think I went to jail. My first time ever saying I want to be a rapper is when I went to jail and I saw Biggie on TV, and I saw Understanding and Azar. I seen all the guys that I literally knew on the video, the Juicy video. And I could not believe my eyes. I was like, oh my God. People that I knew were on TV. And I was like, oh, I'm going to start rapping. And I just started rapping. And I came home and made a little name for myself locally. However, things were about to pop for me. And I goes to jail for 5 years. And just disappears off the face of the earth. And I mean, and I tell a story about this in my book of what I really think happened to me. Y'all got to read that book, Tales of a Original Bad Girl, because that's really, it's a deep book if you want to dive deeper into my life. But that's what derailed my career, is me going to jail. But it was a reason why I went to jail and what I think happened to me. And even to this day, I struggle with that. But I don't have no regrets. You know why? Because I'm here. I'm healthy. I don't look like what I've been through. I live my life the way I want to live it. I'm an entrepreneur. I've been able to successfully live a great lifestyle being an entrepreneur. I have a beautiful daughter. I now want to put a lot of my energy and efforts into building your platform, because I feel like you are so dope. You're like Mack Mama 5.0. You know what I mean? But you're velvet. You know what I mean? Like you have your own dope name, your own dope persona. And I really, really kind of dropped the ball on that, because I feel like I should have put a lot more into you when you were a baby, because you should have been a childhood star, a model. I mean, look, guys, she's gorgeous. Like my baby is like, and I'm not just blowing smoke in your ass. Like I look at you as my blessing from God. You know what I'm saying? Because me and your father didn't make it. And sometimes I say to myself, wow, he's not in your life the way I wish I wish he could have grew up with you. And he really missed out. He really missed out. But you got your little relationship, but he don't got you like I got you. And I don't know if sometimes I'm selfishly saying, yay, I'm glad I got it all to myself. Or I'm sometimes feeling very sorry for him, because you are dope as fuck.
Thank you.
And that's real talk.
Thank you
know what I mean?
Appreciate that.
Yeah, get in the camera, mama. Get in the camera.
I am, but I'm trying to stay in the camera. Then I'm trying to see if my mic works.
Listen.
And then it's low key working, but yours is working more than mine.
I know, that's why you got to keep it to your mouth. Because guys, we're doing a podcast on this Podbeam Live, as well as doing a live. So we're really hoping that this works out. But listen, my thing is, as long as they see me, I'm good.
Yeah.
And hopefully everybody can hear me on the podcast, and that'll be dope too. But I like really interacting with the peoples. What question is this? Thank you. Gloria said, yes, she is.
Thank you.
Elizabeth Tina Davis, boom, said, yes, she's beautiful. Holly, hey, what's up, boo? Hey, yes, she is. Her character was amazing. As a little girl, she used to be so talkative and always fly.
Thank you.
Uh-huh. We hear y'all. Okay, good. Y'all hear us. But we trying to see if the I'm connected to this computer. Hopefully it goes through on this podcast. But okay, Val, what other questions do you want to ask me concerning my life in that 80s crack era?
Okay. So your dad in that era, were you close to him, or did you have a relationship with him?
Never met my father until I was 19 years old. I was locked up, and he had just came home from prison. He had did an extensive stint for his little crimes that he was doing, and he reached out to me And at some points throughout the years while I was doing time, we had connected and I was writing him from jail and he would write me back. But I had got really rebellious towards him because I just felt like, I don't need a father. He wasn't in my life that whole time. And I kind of just didn't, want to have a relationship with him. But I ain't gonna lie, my dad, I really give my dad props because he pushed for this relationship that we have today. And from when I was 19 years old, he came to see me. He never stopped coming to see me. And he just made himself a part of my life and proved to me that he wanted to be my father. And I give him his props for that because the disconnect that we had, it could have just been like that.
Yeah, and in my life, I always knew Grandpa.
And he was a great grandfather to you. So I give him, salute to my father. He had his own addictions. He's, I think, 25 years clean now? Mm-hmm. About 25 years clean now and just been there for us, so that's great. I moved him out here to Connecticut with us and he's living a great productive life working. The man's 69 years old, 69, right?
I think he's in his 70s now.
Oh, didn't turn...
No, because he's still
I think he's 69, yeah. But he's working, get up and go to work every day. He's really redeemed himself because he was definitely a hoodlum. He was a hoodlum. When he tells his stories, I'm always amazed because he was like dead poor. He had a lot of brothers and sisters and they came up like in the 50s? The 40s and 50s, and he was really, really poor.
But I like how we're breaking generational curses and stuff and turning things around. Even, and I say this all the time, you're 40 in your 40s or whatever, but you're still living your best life and you turned it around. At any point, you could turn it around.
At any point, exactly. And I'm 48, guys, and I'm not ashamed to say it. A lot of people thought I was older because I hung out with older people in them streets. But, baby, I was the youngest out the bunch, and I feel like I still look good. I feel like I'm happy that I'm healthy. I had COVID, survived it. Velvet had it.
God bless.
God bless. My family, touch everybody in my family, and we all survived it because people are dropping like flies. I lost my grandmother last year.
Nana.
Shout out to my Nana. I lost her. She was 96 years old. They say she had COVID. I say that because I don't believe she had COVID. Those people pushed my grandmother to the side in that hospital, and she died from a broken heart. Terrified.
Well, we have some people.
Oh, yeah, because we live over here, too. Okay. I see my Podbeam livers. That's what sound like my past. Okay. Oh, so they can hear us. Make sure you stay close to that mic. That's what's up.
Guys, that's cool. You can hear us.
Okay, that's what's up. Yeah. So shout out to everybody that survived COVID, that lost family members from COVID, because my God, we went through such a hell of a year. And it's amazing to me that, people are still here to tell their stories, because this to me was just like population control. That's a whole nother conspiracy theory.
Yeah,
I really believe that's a whole nother episode, but I believe that this stuff was contrived and put out there.
But I also believe we needed this, and a part of this was from God to open our eyes to a lot of things that we may overlook. Like, it's crazy. We should do this every day. Give thanks to the people we love and all that. And it takes a pandemic to do that.
Yeah, well, you're right. Because it has brought families closer, especially being quarantined. And,
health is wealth.
Yeah, realizing how health is wealth, getting into health, because that's what cured our COVID, just being into my supplements. And which I always was into health, and I've been preaching health as wealth for years, and finally I got to really show people, because now people come to me like I'm the doctor. In my neighborhood, people be wanting me to make my little serums and stuff for them so they can beat this COVID, and it's really real, and it's a simple things from the earth that you can take, because once you get diagnosed with COVID, what they tell you, go home and quarantine. Okay, but what do we take? There's no medicines. You're pushing this vaccine now down people's throats. But in the beginning, there wasn't no medication. There was no vaccines. It was just go home and quarantine. And people that are uneducated with supplements and health and things that you can take from the root, from natural things that you're supposed to take to cure you, they didn't know about that. And it was the disease was overcoming them, especially if they were already ill, suffering with illness, and they would die. It was so sad. So I'm just happy to be here.
More questions?
Yes, I want you to ask me. Yes, I want you to ask me more questions. Okay, so the people that are just joining us, basically this episode is our first episode
as a real
podcast. Yeah, because we've been doing little lives and stuff on Facebook and Instagram. And speaking of that, please follow us on our platform. So that's on Facebook, Conversations with My Daughter, right? On Instagram is _ right?
Conversations with My Daughter. You'll see our picture pop up.
Yeah, but it's _ Conversations with My Daughter. And make sure y'all follow the pages so y'all can keep abreast of when we do shows. We're gonna now do them I want to do them twice a week because we are in a pandemic and it's quarantine, so we don't want to wait weekly. Let's do them twice a week.
So today's Monday and Wednesday?
Monday and Wednesdays, we're going to do shows, guys. So make sure y'all follow us on Twitter, too. Conversations with My Daughter. We're on Twitter. And I'm also going to start a YouTube page so I can start putting the videos up there. Basically, I feel like I wanted to get out today. I wanted to share the story that was heavily edited from my participation in this amazing documentary that's on Netflix now called Crack. And if you guys go and watch, I would definitely suggest you guys to go and watch it because it's just so deep on how they just dispelling all the lies that was told about that era, how the government basically engineered that whole crack conspiracy and brought it into our neighborhoods to basically commit genocide. And then just it's really sad to see the people that were affected by crack share their stories and how it really devastated and destroyed their lives and their families. And I had the honor to be in it. However, I was heavily edited, so it was like I was kind of in it just to be like, hey, I'm Mack Mama. But it was like my story wasn't there. So I wanted to share my contribution, which didn't make the cut. And that was me being a child of a crackhead. And I say crackhead with sadness when I say that, but that's what we called crackheads. And I can't exclude my mother from that. She was a crackhead, a hardcore drug addict. And before crack, she was a heroin addict. And her drug addiction was one of the reasons. And at that time, I blamed her for it ruining my life, but I take responsibility now as an adult. Yes, ma'am. But if you ever was on the interview and just say now, could I say something while somebody's talking?
This is our show. So
okay, baby, but it's an etiquette of interviewing.
At any point, I can interject.
Okay.
So I think
that's what she's talking to. Okay, go ahead, baby.
I think once Monday, and then they're saying either Friday or Saturday. So once on the weekend, once.
But you work on Fridays.
Yeah, but I make my own schedule. So
okay, Mama, I know that's right.
We could do Saturday. I don't be wanting to go in, so we could do Saturday because that's a weekday, and then Monday.
Okay. Well, we'll post the schedules. However, I'm glad you said you can make your own schedule because I want to shout out essential workers. My baby worked throughout the entire pandemic all last year. And she went to high school while she was working. She graduated high school and continued to work. She didn't go on to college. She said she wanted to work a couple of years, build up her money. She's on her way to getting her first piece of property, owning her home, credit score on fleek. And I'm just very proud of you. I really am. And I want to shout out to all the essential workers, especially the young people that was able to work and just help their communities in these trying times. Yeah. Thank you for listening, Tony. I hope I'm saying your name right. Tony said we're both beautiful and thanks for sharing my story.
Thank you. He could see us or the picture?
No, he's talking through the podcast, the Podbeam Live. Because we're Podbeam Live right now. And we're doing the live from our page, Conversations with My Daughter. Hey guys, do y'all like our I wish I could really see, but you see our little two faces, our big poster, baby. We had a studio that we were going to start doing our live.
I like this better.
But I like this better too. It's more comfortable. But we had a studio, but it fell through. It didn't work out. But
that's why we were on the back burner too for a minute.
Because we thought we were going to be doing our podcast from our studio.
Ask Tony if he could hear me on the podcast.
Tony, Velvet wants to know, is she low or can you hear her? He said yes.
Okay, cool.
He or she, because that could be a female. I don't know. But they can hear you. Yes.
All right, cool.
Thank you. And Stephanie said, loving this. Yes, thank you. Listen, guys, I love y'all so much for just participating. Anything that we do, y'all always there, whether it just be you guys, because I know I see the names or new people that will listen to this later. I thank y'all so much for just riding with us. It's going to be big things to come. 2021, I'm really dedicating this to my daughter. I'm going to push her platform. She already has a company that she has her LLC for. And it's
I didn't know I needed taxes and all that. But
Wait, let me tell you a funny story. So I got my baby a LLC for her natural products that she's going to start manufacturing. So she didn't know that she had to pay taxes and that, the formalities that go along with having a business and being an entrepreneur. So when I told her that, she was like, wait a minute, I thought this was a hobby. I could just start it when I want to. I said, no, darling. When you file with the government, now they expect to see, even if you don't make any money and you just file zero, you didn't make no money, you still have to, include that with your taxes and file quarterly. And my baby was so distraught because she did not know. And she always say, wow, being an adult is no joke. Yeah. This is what comes with being an adult.
I did not want to get involved with the IRS.
All she care about is her W-2s coming and filing. No, but you have a business and that you have to do, you have to file for that, your 1099s too, baby. But tell them about your company because she's about to put up her website.
So now that I have to actually start taking it serious, I'm going to, we're changing the name now. We're in the process of changing the name. I don't know. Should I tell them the name? Because what if somebody take the name?
Don't tell them the name yet.
Yeah.
Because this time we're going to trademark the name.
Anyways, it's a great name, but it's going to be skin products because I love my skin so much. Very simple. Oils and stuff.
And she
serums,
has beautiful skin. Get into mother's skin, darling, that glow. She has beautiful skin. And darling,
very simple product.
She get it from her mama, darling, because get into that glow, darling. I do have a little blush on, just a pop. But I don't do all of that fake up.
Right now.
I just do the eyes. I like to enhance my eyes.
Well, I do and my lashes.
And my esthetician. Shout out to my esthetician. Rave Me Skincare. I told her I would be shouting her out on my podcast. I love her. She is a young African-American young lady, started up her own company and has a location where she does lipocavitation. That's how I get that, my lipocavitation. She does hydraulic skin facials that are amazing, and I've been getting them. And ladies with the alopecia like me, because I'm gonna keep it 100, I have beautiful hair underneath my wig, but it's very thin, and I have these big giant lumps. I don't know, like somebody pulled my hair out in lumps. Alopecia, okay? And I got that.
Real.
I'm getting real. Because if I'm going to do it, I'm going to do it. I'm going to tell the truth now. I'm not going to because we got to help our ladies. And I can't let them think that it's all perfect. No, I suffer from alopecia. And I go to her because she has this amazing machine that basically puts like electricity in my scalp, but she breaks it down, baby. She parts my hair and she goes into my scalp and she gives me these massages, and then she does her electricity, and then she pours the serum on my scalp. Rave Me Skincare. She's in Watertown or Waterford, Connecticut. Watertown. I think it's Watertown, Connecticut. Go on my page. Follow me on my Mack Mama page, guys, and my Natoka Mack Mama Mackie, because I posted her up there, and I'm gonna start posting her on the Conversations with My Daughter page as well. If you guys are listening on the podcast world and you're in the tri-state area, I'm telling you it is beneficial to go see this young lady. She's amazing. And she also does and what I love about it, she said she learned all of this stuff because she went to cosmetology school, and then she went, and when the pandemic started, she invested in herself and bought this very expensive machine that does this lipocavitation and the hydraulic facial machines. And I just was so amazed because she really knows her stuff, and she can break down everything these machines do. And instead of getting my surgery, which I wanted desperately, guys, I'm not gonna lie, I turned 48 this year. And I'm a surgery girl. I've had tummy tucks, liposuction, breast reductions. I'm into all of that. And because of the pandemic, I can't get out of country because I like to go out of country where they can pull all the fat. There's no limitations on the fat that they can pull. It's much cheaper and they treat you 100% better, in my opinion, than these American doctors. So I couldn't get out of country to get my liposuction that I wanted. So I've been going to her to get the lipocavitation. And so far, so good. I've been wearing my waist trainer. You got to drink a gallon of water and you have to still exercise.
Tony's saying some nice stuff over there to you.
Tell it. Yes, Tony. Sounds great. Tony's a girl. Yes, Tony, you must be a girl because you into it.
No, he said he's a male.
Oh, he a male?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Wait, Tony, you can see me? Because Tony said you don't look 48. Tony, you can see me on this pod being live?
Just in the picture.
Oh, the picture. Oh, yeah, I forgot my picture is up. Okay, yes, Tony. That's darling. I look good for 48, baby. But I plan to look even better when I turn 50 because I'm going to be doing every 2 weeks I go see her for my hydraulic facials. And then she hits me with this. It's another thing, which I don't know the name of it, but she puts the electricity on my skin. So it actually tightens my skin. Because y'all know as you get older, your skin starts sliding down, and it's not as tight. Well, some people, because black normally don't crack, but I have a little mixture of white in me from my great-great-grandfather.
We all do.
And that Caucasian I start seeing is coming up in this skin. And that's why Velvet is so light, because she got that Caucasian side from me. And baby, you got to be careful with that. Y'all see me pulling my skin. So anyway, she does this technique that she has to tighten your skin, the lipocavitation, which is designed to separate the fat cells, and it's designed to drink a gallon of water and you start dispelling the fat through your urination. Baby, I'm doing a full-blown ad for Mama because that's how, and then, of course, the alopecia procedure, because I done got needles in my head and everything, and them needles did not work when I went to my dermatologist, so I'm giving this a shot. I'm not saying I see no big results yet, because I just started this about 3 weeks ago. In fact, this week, Wednesday, will be my third session for my lipocavitation, but Velvet said she see results. We critical on ourselves because I want to see a fat. I'm not doing it on my stomach, guys. I'm having her do my fat rolls in the back because I got these sausage-like fat rolls, which I'm going to share the picture with y'all when I do my before and after picture. They're horrifying. You can't tell from the front because I'm big-breasted and I have had tummy tucks. So when I do get fat, it just goes to my fat in the back. It never really affects my stomach. Wait. FG first side in the building. Hey, Quell. What's up, boo? So, bottom line, all my ladies and even my men, because she does men facials and men, y'all know y'all got fat rolls too. If you're in the tri-state area or you want to travel to her, it's Rave Me Skincare. She's out of Watertown, Connecticut. And she's amazing. And her name is Raven, a sweet girl. And she's a black-owned business. And I'm a promoter. I'll never go to nowhere else. And I'm a spa girl. I'll never go nowhere else.
And even if you don't live in the tri-state and you still want to get it done, just find someone in the area because this is the newest thing that's happening. I found a few people.
Yeah, but I want them to go to Rave Me.
I know, but some people may not be.
They could fly in. People that's into their beauty will fly in. They could find somebody in
their area. We got to show the love to everybody. It's not just Raven trying to get on. It's everybody.
Raven.
So if you are in the tri-state area, go to Raven. But if you would like to find somebody
anybody else, really, you don't know how they do their work unless it's word of mouth.
That's why, just like how you gave word of mouth.
Oh, so you know somebody else?
I do. Well, I'm not going to shout them out because I didn't go to them. I don't know. But I see this work done all the time on the social
That's the new thing.
Yeah, that's the new thing.
Okay. Instead of us having to go into surgery.
Yeah, instead of going into surgery or get your face. I don't know what people do, but this is
why?
Like
because you're so naturally beautiful, aren't you?
No.
Mother said, I don't know what people do because I'm beautiful.
But, just if you want some natural stuff done.
Hi, Janet. Hey, sissy.
Hi.
Yes. Okay. So anyway, yes, it's all about getting into the healthy, natural way of beautifying yourself. So like Velvet said, if you can't get the Rave Me Skincare, research people in your area, preferably black-owned businesses, because we have to support our own. Love you, Caucasian people. God, I've been going to y'all for years. but I have to start shouting out my Black-owned businesses. So that's what's up for 2021. And Velvet will have her products in production hopefully in a couple of at least 90 days we're shooting for. My thing is, guys, I'm back heavy into my music. I love my music. It keeps me young and I spits fire. I don't know why I can't play my music today from here because I can't figure this doggone thing out, but I will. But if you want to hear my music, go to my SoundCloud because that's my newest, where I put all my newest music up. And that's on Mack Mama. Everything's Mack Mama. MackMama. Google me on SoundCloud. Go to my SoundCloud and listen to all my music that I put up there. I got classics up there from back in the days, but I got all my new stuff that I just recently produced in my home studio.
Auntie.
So I'm back. The Mac is back, guys. And I'm doing soundtracks for my new books that I'm about to release. If you haven't read Tales of Original Bad Girl by Mack Mama, please do so. It gives you a more in-depth look of my life story. Also, I have my first fiction, which is Daisy Jones. She'll always be my first and favorite book because that's my shot at real storytelling. And I think I did an amazing job. It's called Daisy Jones by Mack Mama. And I also have my eroticas, which I'm about to pull off of Amazon and consolidate. They're short stories, but they're called Goddess and Goddess Part 2, The Freak Within. And I wrote those underneath a pseudonym, Macalicious. That's my other personality. However, I would prefer that you go and get all my products from mackmamamerch.com. So that's mackmamamerch.com, mackmamamerch.com, because I don't see my money like I see it when you guys buy my stuff from my website. On those other platforms, I'm about to have everybody ordered it. Amazon, Good Book, all of that, Goodreads, Amazon, Barnes and Nobles, because they could just be telling me anything. And I just feel like I have to start having everybody go to my platform to purchase my merchandise. So I created mackmamamerch.com. And my music is on iTunes, but not my newest stuff. So I will have it there in coming weeks. I'm gonna add everything up there. But right now you can get it free. Just stream it off of SoundCloud, my Mack Mama page. And that's basically it on the promotion side. I think that I really got. Why are you laughing? Why are you laughing?
You're just funny. I'm
funny? Okay. I think I got everything out that I wanted y'all to know, especially what I wasn't able to get out from the crack documentary on Netflix. Make sure y'all go. If y'all haven't seen it, go and watch it. It's a really deep documentary. It's not a series. It's a one-shot deal. It's about an hour and a half. Just go there, watch it. And let's keep it number one trending. It was like number 2. It then went down to 5, but I want it back at number 1 because I'm in it, and it's great promotion for your girl. I just think it is, and I think it's a story that needed to be told, and the truth. And
well,
it's
they got a
really
few
great
documentaries about the crack pandemic.
I know, but I'm not in a few of them. I'm in this one.
But there are a few other.
But this one was, to me, the dopest one because
you were in it.
Not just because I was in it, because I don't even really get to share my story. So no, I'm promoting it because I really think it's dope. Because I really didn't have no real shine in the documentary, but I really enjoyed it because I feel like it touched on how the government was corrupt. And then it brought in real life people from that era that were devastated and that had experience being, being crackhead addicts, And I thought you don't really see that. I didn't see that in no other documentary where they had former crack users that were devastated. I'm talking about these people. Lulu made me cry. The lady Lulu. I mean, I'm just still thinking about it. The lady. What's her name? She was a drug dealer, female drug dealer. I forgot her name. She was, she had got shot, and she was crying on the thing. I was like, damn, like it really touched me. Samson Styles, shout out to my boy Samson. That's the guy that brought me into it. He always brings me into his projects. And he was a former dealer, and he's an amazing guy. Man, this guy is a broadcaster. He works for BET. And he was one of the top drug dealers from East New York, Brooklyn back then. And he went through a lot and, ravaged his community and did a 360. It shows you, like, not just me, it's so many people that changed their lives. It's another gentleman that used to be a police officer up there, and he was a former crack dealer, and then he went and became a police. I think he got a book. I think he got his own story. I want to get deeper into his story because that was intriguing to me as well. So I think that this is the dopest documentary on the crack era that has been done as of yet. And I advise you guys to take a moment when y'all Netflix and chilling to check it out. What's that, Mama?
No, what you want me to say after that? All right.
Okay, so now, how long we been doing this? An hour. We've been on here an hour and 4 minutes. Okay, I think we should hey Ebony, y'all, everybody that's just coming in, make sure that you guys listen from the beginning, because what I did with this was that I shared a portion of my story that had been edited out from this amazing Netflix documentary called Crack. So make sure y'all take it from the beginning. We're about to end it now, right? My pie bean people. Oh, wait a minute. Hold on. Somebody said they play guitar. Oh, Tony said I play guitar and piano. That's what's up. Can we hear you anywhere? Drop your location in there where I can check out your music.
And we'll be back.
Oh, Tony, baby. Tony is winning me over. Tony said, which one is the mother? Left pitch or right? Ooh. Tony, baby. What's that? The right or the left? I don't know how I could even write on. It would be your left if what they're watching on pie. I'm the mom with the red dress. Well, it's a pumpkin colored dress. The darker colored dress. I'm on the right. Yes, daughter. You didn't know who was the mother or the daughter. Oh, I live.
He knew who the mother or the daughter was.
I live. Yes, darling. Thank you guys for tuning in. I am going to make it my business to make sure that we can play our music next time, because we have an actual song that we made for the show. Conversations with my daughter. Conversations with my mama. Conversations with my daughter. It was hot. I'm pissed off that I wasn't able to upload it. I got to figure that out. I got to call these Podbean Live people. But we could play it on my thing, but we'll do that next time, because there's a lot of stuff that we got a lot of glitches, guys, but y'all got the gist. Y'all got the gist. Y'all can figure it out. Share it, follow us, guys. Conversations with my daughter on all the platforms, Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook. And make sure y'all tune in for our next episode.
Yes, we'll let you know when.
And what do you think we'll be talking about next time? We still got to go into the Capitol thing, though, because I thought that was crazy. It's not old. It's ongoing.
Yeah, I get that, but I don't know.
Guys,
I watch it every day on the news.
I'm obsessed with
positivity.
Yeah, I'm obsessed with
How about
the
we talk
madness
about our first
that happened on January 6th.
Assistant president or whatever.
Okay, Kamala, great. I love it. I'm so happy.
Let's talk about Michelle Obama.
Okay, we'll jump into all of that, but I got to jump in on these controversies and conspiracy
So let's say that
theories.
For the next episode.
Yes, we will, but I'm just letting them know that's what we're going to be talking about the next time. The conspiracy theories. The Republicans are losing their minds, and they got the lady like Marjorie Greene representing them, and she's talking nuts, and just the idea that the Capitol can be stormed and nobody was just murdered. It should have, if it was us, black people, we would have been laid out on. It would have still drying up the blood from the massacre that would have happened. And these people got away with this, But thank God they are getting arrested.
And we'll let you know more about that next week.
Yeah. All right, guys. Thank you so much for listening and joining us. And I hope you guys had an amazing time with us today. Right?
Yep. Yay.
Yay. Only thing I think I could do is do the clapping sound effects on here. But this was fun. Huh? They done stopped my thing. Oh, wait. All right, guys. We out of here. Hey.
Oh, they can't even hear it, but they can.